So we're only about an hour away till tip-off, and we are going to have another rematch with the team that made us look silly from a guy that really dominated and dropped 50 points on us. Rematch, Sixers versus Pistons, Blake Griffin versus Joel Embiid. Both have their respective teams above 500. Okay, Pistons are now 4-3, Sixers above 500. Okay, Pistons are now 4-3, Sixers are 5-4. When we faced them, they were smoking hot. They were undefeated at that point. I think they were 3-0. Sixers, as you know, are now 5-4. But what Sixers team are we gonna get? Okay, because if you look at it, we're 5-0 at home, 0-4 on the road. If this is the way it's gonna end, which it won't, but if it does play out that way, we would go 41-41. 500, not making the playoffs. Very disappointing season, but I think we'll get into the groove. But it's early game today, 1 o'clock tip-off. And I'm interested to see if Brett's going to make the adjustments that he needs to. I don't see Blake Griffin going off for 50 again. Okay, we didn't have Ben Simmons in that game. Ben Simmons is more than likely going to guard Blake Griffin today. So he shouldn't go off. And again, he's not a three-point shooter at all. And he dropped, I think, like 7 threes on us last time to get that overtime win. Such a crushing overtime win for the Sixers to lose. But I look for Embiid to really dominate down low, attack Drummond. He's been a monster. He has an MVP season going this year. He's got, 4 games over 30 points. He dropped 41 the other night against the Clippers. And I'll talk about those games as well since I haven't been able to get a video done. I've just been busy and I haven't been able to watch, but I'm all caught up now. And he's just been dominant. And it worries me because of what Embiid has done. He's literally thrown this team on his back. Simmons has not showed up at all, and he's the most player that I'm disappointed in this season is Simmons. I don't see a change from Simmons from last year to this year. Nothing's different. Okay, he's still scared to take jumpers. He's not being aggressive when he's going to the paint. He'll get penetration, pick up the dribble, and then kick it out to the three-point line. What are you doing, dude? You're 6'10", you're 250 pounds, respectively. Go in there and go to work, okay? You've seen how dominant Embiid was against the Clippers. He got real deep penetration when he was down low, almost to where nobody could stop him, not even Boban. He was a monster. 41 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks. God, he had to take 32 shots in that game. Because Simmons, with his measly 14 points, 11 points, I don't care. If we want to be a championship team, Simmons is going to have to average at least 20 to 25 points per game, okay? I don't care about your little measly triple-doubles, all right, your 14, 10s, and 11s. I'd rather you score at least 20 points and still get your triple-doubles, but be aggressive on the offensive end. Don't always look to, you penetrate and then you just kick it out right away. Be aggressive, take the shot, all right? He averages maybe 1 shot. That Clippers game, I counted 2, okay? But I want to see him go straight up and down. None of this off of 1 foot, freaking, what else? He's 8 feet from the basket. He's shooting off of 1 foot, or he's doing a fadeaway jumper. Just go up straight and down and take a jumper. Who cares if you miss it? It doesn't matter, dude. And he's so in his head. And for us to be a success, Ben Simmons is going to have to be that 1A type player. You're 1A, you're 1B with Embiid. But right now, it's just been the Embiid show. Dario Saric has been atrocious all year. His last 4 games, he's 9 from 35 from the field, okay? And he's 3 of 16 from downtown, all right? So he's shooting 18% from 3 in these last 4 games and about 25% from his field goals. It's atrocious. It's absolutely horrible. We need him to pick it up, and I really love what I see out of Fultz. I don't know about you guys, but I love the aggression. Each game, he's gaining more and more confidence. He had 12 points, 9 and 5 against the Clippers, respectively, the other night. I love what he's doing in the fast break. He's being aggressive. He's taking on defenders. Defensively, he's getting up on players. He's getting up into their chest. So a lot of the stuff that I was concerned that I was seeing in faults earlier in the year, he's worked on. Okay, the shot's going to be something that's going to take a while. That's a work in progress. Okay, he doesn't shoot it as much, but that's fine. That's going to come along. His bread and butter when he was in college was the penetration, was breaking down the defense and being able to either take it to the rack or kick it out to an open three, which was what we were seeing out of him. He's bringing a lot of high energy. I haven't seen a lot of the lackadaisical stuff like I've seen earlier in the year too. Okay, we're 9 games in. That Toronto game, it really exposed us. We shouldn't have gotten beaten that bad. All right, we had 60 rebounds, 17 offensive rebounds in that game. All right, that's 17 chances where you gave your team at least another shot at getting some points, which we didn't do. Ben had 11 turnovers, 11 points and 11 turnovers. That is not going to get it done. Okay, I don't know if he gets in his head about that. That's why he's just being so passive. But you got to stay aggressive. You're working out with LeBron. LeBron is aggressive when he goes to the rack. Like, rub off on him a little bit. LeBron worked on his shot. He worked on every aspect of the game. If Ben rings true to say he wants to be the best to ever play his game at his position, I'm not seeing it. I'm not saying that killer instinct that LeBron had when he came into the league, that he possesses. Much why I wanted Brandon Ingram coming out of Duke rather than Ben Simmons 3 years ago. But, we have Simmons. Happy with Simmons. He still affects the game in other ways. I still just want him to be more aggressive on the offensive end. It was a great win. We did blow a 22-point lead. We won 3 out of 4 quarters against the Clippers, but it killed us. We were lackadaisical on defense. They murdered us in the paint. When Embiid goes out, they draw him out to the three-point line. There's nobody protecting back there. We need a second line of defense. I still think we need that extra piece coming off the bench to be able to have a rim protector when Embiid either gets drawn out or he's, getting a rest. So that's been killer. It's just, I think today we got to dominate, do what we did last night, because Embiid got slowed up a little when they threw a big body and Boban on him. Marjanovic. A couple nights ago against the Clips. But Drummond, I think he could still, it's a good matchup because he's a great defender. But he can body him. He's got the muscle. He doesn't have the quickness. He has the quickness to stay with Embiid, but I think he can muscle him down there. I think he might have like 20 pounds on him. So just do what he's been doing. Get deep penetration. Landry Shamet has been a stud for us. I really love what he adds to this rotation. There's been talks with Korkmaz complaining, saying he's not getting any playing time. He wants to be traded. Well, here's the solution. Why don't you show us something and maybe you will get some playing time? Talk is cheap. Show us what you can do on the court, okay? Maybe you get some playing time if you were effective. Because as of right now, since we've drafted you, the only thing I can really recognize you for is 40-point game in a summer league. In a summer league game. That's your claim to fame. Other than that, you play piss-poor defense, and you're not that great of a three-point shooter. Now, if you work on your game, I think you could become something because he's got a quick release. And he would be a nice asset. But I think they should do what they did to Bolden, send him down to the Bluecoats, and just get his game better, get some playing time, because he's not going to get any better running the bench. That's right. So send him down. I would love to option him because we have Wilson Chandler, and this could affect Shamet's playing time. But I love what I've seen out of this kid. You kind of get what you got with Bellinelli, with a guy that's going to stand behind the three-point line, plays way better defense than Bellinelli, but he's got a quick release. He can hit it from downtown. He can hit it from all over the court. So he's a very good shooter, plays good defense. Not bad for the 26th overall pick. So we might have gotten a steal with this kid. Like what he adds to the rotation, though. Fultz, too. And Dario's been just so atrocious. I listed his numbers earlier. I think what Brett has to do is, just to get him out of this funk, is maybe let him come off the bench for a little. Switch him and Muscala. You look at their games. other than being able to take the ball up as like a point forward, Muscala can't do that. He brings the shooting aspect. He brings the high energy. He can rebound. So you're not really losing anything when you're taking out Sarge from Muscala, other than him being able to see, other than court vision. But maybe just to get Dario out of this funk, rest him up a little bit. Sports are weird, especially if you're superstitious. Get him coming off the bench with JJ. I hate, though, with Brett's rotation minutes, that Fultz is getting so little playing time. Against the Raptors, he got 19 minutes. All right? Against the Clips, he only got 21. JJ Redick's averaging almost starting minutes, and he's coming off the bench, like 35, 36 minutes. Not going to get it done. I know Brett loves to have him out there because a lot of the offense revolves around him and Embiid with the two-way game because he has the ability to shoot, but you're going to burn both Embiid and JJ out by doing that and having them play so many minutes. And having Embiid carry the weight like he is, his injury history worries me, especially if he's going to be going ham like that, night in and night out. We can't have that. He needs to have the burden shifted with Sarge stepping up. You can't rely on Fultz right at this minute. He's not going to be, throw the team on his back and average 20 to 25 points a game. He's played under 20 games in his career. So that's why we need Sarge to step up and Ben Simmons. They have to carry the load and help Embiid. Embiid can't be doing this all season. Something is going to happen that we're not going to like. But he is playing out of his mind. He's the reason that we are 5-4 to this point and been in almost every game. Okay, he played good against Toronto. We didn't have an answer. They had entire team score for them. I think they had 3 guys close to 20 points and over. And then Kawhi Leonard's a monster, obviously. He dropped 31 on us. But awesome defender. Covington hasn't been too bad. 6 of 10 the last 2 games from downtown. Defensively, he's putting it in there. So he's getting better. He's starting to put the ball on the court, which I like to see. But what I want to see also out of Brett, too, is why don't we take corner threes? That's something I feel like we should incorporate into our offense. It's the shortest distance from three-point, especially since Brett loves to shoot three-pointers. Get your guys, run some screens off of there, and sit in a corner. Throw it down low to Embiid on the block. Kick it out for the short three over there. So I want them to incorporate a lot more corner threes instead of always shooting it from the wings at the top of the key, which is a lot further away. And what I also love to see with the Clippers game is we only shot 27 threes. We shot a normal amount of threes because of how effective we were in the paint. That is the recipe for winning. We also got to the line. I think we were 21 for 30, so for like 75%. I would like to get our numbers ticked up a little bit there. 75% isn't that good. I'd rather be like mid-80s to high 80s because that's free points right there that we're giving away, and every point counts. So we've been monsters on the board, though. It's going to be a struggle today going against the Pistons because if they got Drummond, they've got Blake Griffin, who are very good rebounders, to give their team second chance points, and they like to shoot threes, reminiscent of when we played them a couple weeks ago. Blake Griffin is not going to have another 50-point game, and we got to see what we're going to get out of Ben Simmons, all right? Is he going to be on Blake Griffin the whole game to wear him out offensively? You're not really going to wear him out because he only's averaging like 13 points a game. So there should be no excuses there. Plus, he's 21, 22 years old. I don't know why he's getting exhausted, but I want to see the aggression out of him. Attack Blake Griffin, get their best players out, get into the penalty early, get to the free throw line. That is a recipe for winning. That is what we got to do. And we got back to our bread and butter against the Clippers. We had 21 fast break points. That is where Ben excels the most, when he's getting the rebound, getting the outlet, and running down the court with our guys either stopping for the three, and we haven't been doing a lot of the early shot clock, jacking threes up, or just, pointless stuff where we're running down, not having a set play, and jacking threes up. We've kind of gotten away from that. Hopefully he doesn't get trigger happy, Brett, and start doing this again. But we're 5-4. All right, we need to start winning on the road. So I want to see, we're going to bring that magic again today at the center because we play so much better from all the energy from the fans. But it's a tough stretch. You look at the teams that we've lost to on the road, all right, Celtics, Bucks, Pistons, and, God, I can't believe this, it's I can't think of it. Raptors. Jesus. Sorry. I only got 2 hours of sleep. But they have a combined record of 25-7. All right, so we are not playing against great competition. If you want to be a top 3 team like we were last year in the league, you've got to beat the good teams. Bucks, 8-1. Raptors, 7-1. Pistons being the worst in 4-3. Celtics, 6-2. So if we're struggling against these teams, we have got no hope to excelling or even progressing any further. We have Miami's pick this year to really build off of, so we want to keep a close eye on that. And Sacramento, they're 6-3 right now, because that pick also hinges what happens, because we own the rights to it if it's number 1 overall next year. If not, it goes to the Celtics, and that goes back to the Fultz trade. But key to winning is we need to see more out of Ben. I've been very disappointed of what I've seen out of Ben. I didn't know what he did all summer. You see the workout videos of him taking all these jumpers, uncontested. Anybody can do that. I want to see that in real time, game time. All right, get aggressive. I feel like a broken record, but you want to take that leap. If you want to become a generational type talent, if you want to surpass Michael, LeBron, you have to have that killer instinct to be able to rely on that guy to take the last shot and not just look to pass every single time. All right, guys. Any comments, concerns? I'm on break here at work. I can answer a few. I know that you were firing them off real quick. And I apologize for not answering them. I like to do that after after I've done my spiel. Disappointed in Dario and Brett Brown. Yeah, so have I, Giovanni. The downfall of Ben. She's not a Kardashian, no, Sean. So can you really blame it on him? What was his excuses before that? Because he was doing the same shit last year and he wasn't with Kendall. So I don't want to use that as an outlet. But Dario's been very disappointed. And I think they got to cut him playing basketball back home, because he just doesn't have his legs on him. You can see it with his jump shots. It's not there. He's always short. He looks tired. The stamina's not there. It's just too much. It's too much basketball for one man to play. Korver, we could possibly make a trade for Korver. We need more shooting on this team. That's depending on what they're asking for. I wouldn't mind adding Kyle Korver. My main concern really is getting that second guy when Embiid's resting. We need that shot blocker, that defensive presence when he's not on there. Butler's going to be too much. I don't want Jimmy Butler. He's going to command way too much, not only money, because you got to look at the contract situation. Because you want to re-sign Ben, Fultz, Dario, if may be, not if he keeps playing like this, but you have to keep that in mind. And possible free agents that are going to be out there next year. Tobias Harris, I really like. I wouldn't mind adding him to the squad. We don't have to. Why are they talking about taking on his salary, Giovanni? I still don't want to give up 4 picks for Jimmy Butler. He's what, 30 maybe, 31. He's got a lot of minutes logged on them legs. I mean, he does really fill a need at a defensive wing and add some toughness to this team, because I think we are a soft squad. And Brett has allowed this to happen. But I'm not giving up 4 first-round picks for Jimmy Butler. If anything, if I'm giving up a multitude of that many picks, it's for Anthony Davis. And that's it. To 1, snag him away so the Celtics do not get him. And 2, I think he would fit perfectly here. He likes to play the 4. You get Dario, have him coming off the bench. You got Anthony Davis and Embiid. I think they would play well together. He's not a 5. They have him down in New Orleans playing at the 5. What can Brand add that can help immediately? We need shooting. Shooting and a backup center is our biggest needs. In my opinion. You're going to get Wilson Chandler back at some point, so he adds more defensive versatility and some shooting, but he's still not a great shooter. Yeah, I would love to get that, but I'm worried the Celtics are going to go after him because they have the draft capital to do it. They have the players, so they don't even have to give up picks if they wanted to. They could still give up players. They have a lot of young talent to acquire Anthony Davis. Just imagine that, and then them possibly going out and pursuing Kawhi. I mean, if Brand's going to do anything to make a bold statement as a GM, I would make a trade for Anthony Davis. As 2K as that sounds, that is what needs to happen. You add a generational talent like that, once in a generational talent like an Anthony Davis. It's crazy to think of because this is the type of trades that you talk about in 2K that could actually happen. But that, in my opinion, would put us up there with the Celtics if we could acquire him. And then you just worry about the rest. Because who cares about draft picks anymore? We're not looking forward to next year. We're not really watching like, oh, let's go after Zaire Williamson, okay? We've got the pieces that we need. You build through the draft like we have. I still have 100% faith in Markelle Fultz. Simmons is what he is. Affects the game enough, but or anything. I'm praying we don't run into the same issues. Because what killed us last time was anybody other that it's an offensive threat other than Blake Griffin. He's that centerpiece. He is that whole team. You're not gonna have a night like he did a couple weeks ago behind the three-point line. I can guarantee you that. So force him to be a shooter, but get defense, which Sarge didn't do last time. Hence why he dropped 50 points on us. All right, it's Kyle Gaffner with the Bitter Birds. Go Sixers. We're going to get that home cooking going, but we need to win on the road. And Simmons needs to be aggressive. Road. And Simmons needs to be aggressive. Peace!